So, a lot of people have been talking about the new X album where it's just labeled question mark. And there's a lot of confusion as to why. And then there's a lot of talk about all the different like songs that are in his album and like why some are like soft melodies and some are like really intense. And so this is just my theory of why I think that he's placed these different genres of songs in his album. At first when I heard the album, I too was confused as to like, why does it have a question mark? What does that mean? What do we even call his album? Why are these songs so different yet sort of the same from each other? And finally, earlier today, I was listening to it and I was reading the lyrics. I wasn't just listening to the songs, I was reading them like side by side, because in iTunes you can just do like view lyrics. And I was noticing a theme, and so this is just my theory on my take of the X album. I've written these down in my notes here because I thought of this earlier. So I'm just going to be reading off of my notes, and I may play snippets of the songs just to further like enhance my reasonings for this. So I said, I think the songs are placed strategically in this order on purpose. I think it shows the highs and lows of mental illnesses like depression, because in the beginning of the first song, he references the album name. In the song, he's talking about a girl who broke his heart, and so now he's plummeting into a state of despair, which is the first song in the beginning, which would be, not introduction, the introduction is just his instructions in Alone. Let me see if I can find lyrics. For his very last lyrics, it says, "She pulled my heart beneath her feet, she turned and left. The question was my heart." And then he repeats that and then further reiterates, my heart, my heart. So that, to me, is where he first starts into this decline. Because, I mean, he just was broken up with, so of course he's going to be sad. Next, I said into Moonlight, he's still thinking about the girl and how now other guys are going after her, and he's like, no, and so he's getting mad, he's turning violent. So for example, I don't curse. I'm gonna say homies, okay? I'm gonna say homies. So when you think of Moonlight, you think of it's pretty, and so in the song he's talking about the girl and how shoddy look in the moonlight, just how the girl looks in the moonlight, she looks pretty. And then he's talking about all these fussies homies, so about my moonlight, he goes into the chorus. He later, further into the song, he says, like, you don't know who you're messing with. He's coming for them, stuff like that. Essentially, he's just saying, hey, even though we're broken up, that's still my girl. And I don't like how these guys are going after her. Sad, which is a song that he released like 2 weeks ago as like a sneak preview, is where he's jumping to extremes, where he doesn't want to let go of this girl from the beginning. He doesn't want to let go of her, so for him to not feel like he's separated from her, he'd rather kill himself in the song. Or what he references in the song. The song he says, I gave her everything, she took my heart and left me lonely. Referencing the first song where she stepped on his heart, took it from underneath his feet, and now he's like, who am I? Someone that's afraid to let go. He's afraid to let go of his feelings for the girl. Suicide, if you ever try to let go, like, he's like, should I stay and live without her, or should I commit suicide just so I still feel like I'm with her? It's like that Romeo and Juliet, sort of. Like, I can't go on if I'm not with her. And this is where the Broken Heart track comes in. She's coming back to him saying she's falling for him, but again, he's trying to block her out with the drugs and money as a way to fix his broken heart. That's literally what his song title means. It's a remedy for a broken heart, but he's so in love, he's like, why? So he's saying mix a little bit of weed with a little bit of cash, with a little bit of this, with a little bit of that. And then it looks like he's gonna say we're gonna be all right, but it like cuts off. So him talking about having weed and cash is just him, what is it? It's him just trying to block her out with like drugs and money, because after a breakup, probably you want to feel better, so you just go out and party and all that stuff. It goes to where he says that she's saying that, oh, I'm falling for you, I'm falling for you. And in the very end, he ends it with, I don't know where I. That also references his album cover. This whole, so far, this is just describing like the stages through a breakup. Where you're sad and then you go and try to liven yourself up, but you're still thinking about the other person. In 4555, he was mad again, and it's sort of in the blame game stage. And that's why he's talking about God in the beginning and how now people have started to talk about him because it's drama. And so he's saying that if you talk smack, then he'll defend himself. And just the F royalty lyrics all at the end is just him. It's just his anger. It's just him showing his anger about all the people talking about him. Which personally, I really like this song. He's like, he said, F a feeling God, level up feeling high. So just there, he's disregarding his feelings. He's not wanting to come to terms with that he still really likes the girl that he just broke, or that she just broke up with him. He's still in love with the girl, and so he's right now just trying to get away from all that, block out his emotion towards her, just not wanting to feel anything because he's mad. And so right now he's on a high, this high point in his life. Right now it's as if he's like on top of the world. He calls himself a narcissist because he's there with the drugs and the cash, and he's out partying. Maybe not out partying, but he's just out living good. And sorta in the middle, it's just him sort of taunting, like people that are talking about him. He says he's a monster in the heart of the woods. They put that fool in a coffin because the way they be talking. More or less, this song is just his warning to people that are just talking about him, saying, hey, if you talk about me, I'm just gonna mess you up. And so in the end, this is all his anger, F royalty, F royalty. Him at the very end, just screaming all that, is just like the very top of his anger. Numb is a decomposition where he's like digressing into that sad mood again, because with the elevation, there's always going to be a low. Hence, title Numb. And this is where we get sort of that, but this is where it shows like the changes of a very high, like upbeat, like intense song, all of a sudden transitioning into a very low song. In the very beginning, he's talking about like, in a single year, I'm drowning in my tears, I'm drowning in my tears again. So I'm feeling that a year's passed, like in the soundtrack, a year's passed from the breakup, and he's still thinking about the girl. And he says he can't seem to forget the pain that the girl's given him. And he's just in, like, woe is me. And that really is all the lyrics. He's just drowning in his tears. I just realized something. He says the pain you see me give my friend. He references my friend. Now, in a couple songs, he references pain as his best friend. Now, originally, I thought he was talking about the girl, as in the pain you see me give my friend. I thought he was talking about how the girl is still causing him pain. But just now reading it, I'm thinking pain. I'm thinking he's referencing his friend as his depression towards the girl because of this breakup. And you'll see what I mean when I get to that song. See, like 5 hours ago, I had written he's reflecting on his time back with the girl and he's missing the girl even though she's causing him pain. But now I'm thinking that that could still be true. The pain you see me give my friend, I feel like now he's foreshadowing the song that's coming up, the pain equals best friend. I feel like he's foreshadowing that. But anyways, the next song is Infinity. And that's where he's back from being low-key for so long, from recovering from his depressed state. Joey's part in the beginning of the song is him introducing X back into the game. So what I mean by that is, in the song, like, Joey starts off, and he's talking about this guy, and he's hyping him up, and then X comes in. And then this is when he starts saying, all this stuff about him. He's hyping himself up as well. And then his ending lyrics is him where he's telling where he was and what he'd been through in his recovery. Towards the end of, I think this is Joey's part, it says, "This is a pro of all eras, he's back in your sector, so might be best to protect your neck, or profess your debt to the God, he might bless you." Yeah, so just there he's just introducing X that's coming back into the game. This is just where he's like being very intimidating towards everyone since he's been off the radar. And then at the very end, he was explaining, "I spent years in the crib, so I don't feel pain no more. I don't feel the pain no more." And that's all he just repeats it. Literally, he was just saying that he was gone for a while, but now he's back, and he doesn't feel it. Going down is where he's found another girl, and he's in that state, or I think he's in that state of one-night stands of in a relationship where when you get out of the relationship, you have the lows, you have the highs, you have the lows, then you have more highs, and then in that high, you have the whole spiel of like one-night stands if you're into that. And so I just think in Going Down, he's just messing around right now and having fun. He's just singing about a girl and them doing stuff. And he's just singing, he's having fun. That's all what that song is about. Now, pain equals best friend is that sadness coming back to him. He's coming down off of that little sense of euphoria again. Because with the highs, there will always be lows. His ending lyrics are him breaking because he sees that his pain will always be there lingering. And that's why he calls it his best friend. So, for example, if you look at the lyrics, it just looks like a poem. So, this is one of those sad, mellow songs that he has again, that if you just go into the soundtrack listening to it, you're going to think that it's just placed there, like out of nowhere. But if you're listening to the soundtrack through context with the lyrics, this is where it's going to make sense. But this is how it makes sense, going off of this theory that I created. He's saying, "Lost in the good, I feel so deeply, I can't seem to fight, the music's gone." Music's gone, being as in that heightened level he was at, all the partying, the feeling goodness. It's gone, now he's in that saddened state again. "Don't try, don't dream, it won't end. Pain will always be my friend." Meaning, as in, when he says pain will always be my friend, I see that as him saying that this state of depression that he's in, it's always going to just linger with him. No matter, even if he's at his highest peak, it'll still somewhere be there in the back of his mind. And so, he's just saying that it's always going to be there, it won't go away. That's why he calls it his best friend, because it's always going to be there. Like how normally a best friend would always be there for you, his pain right now is his best friend. I'm just calling this soundtrack Money, Money, Money. In Money, 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 he's in that high state again. And all it is just talk about getting money and being with girls and just high levels of euphoria again. I guess, another party atmosphere. Literally the whole song is about partying and with girls. What's it called? When a person breaks up with someone and then just goes straight into another person? I wouldn't know. I don't know. So then Love Yourself is him actually talking to what I think is the first girl from the first instance, not the girls that he's been sleeping with, the actual first girl that broke up with him. I think that audio in the background is him talking to the girl on the phone. And if you notice while he's singing, he's still playing the phone conversation with the girl in the background. What I think is the part that you hear clearly, his singing part, is his conscience talking to him while he's talking to the girl on the phone. That's why I feel like he still plays that conversation. Even though it's faint, you can still hear it. And that's why I think the part that's louder where you can hear him singing is his conscience. Yeah, because in the beginning, it's just a regular conversation. It doesn't give lyrics to the conversation as he's singing, since it's in the background. It's just, oh, how you love yourself, take no chances, forget about those people. It's just his conscience, like, getting at him, saying, why would you call this girl back even though she's caused you so much pain? It's funny how you love yourself, stuff like that. Smash is him reflecting on the breakup after some time, where he's able to think clearer now since a year plus has passed. And it's explaining why it was good they broke up, and he's putting it in the tense of him breaking up with her, even though in the beginning it was the other way around. But in the end, he's still pointing out her heartlessness. He was saying how they were like peas on a pod, Superman to Lois Lane, but she was too expensive, I guess, so he had to be gone with her. And then towards the end of that same like stanza, it turns to where he was saying, don't look surprised, all she want to do is lie. And she doesn't feel any pain. And again, that's again talking about the pain she caused him when she broke his heart. Again, talking about the very first song to the same girl. And that's why he's saying, oh, that's why I put her in the past, because she wasn't good for me. The I don't even speak Spanish is where another one of his highs, where he's just met this Spanish girl. And all that is about lust and another one night stand, like earlier. If you translate the Spanish lyrics, it's just talking about, oh, Apple Music doesn't translate it. It's just about lust and acts. Just another one night stand high. There's a lot of highs and lows in this breakup for him. Okay, so then in Changes, this is where he hits another low again, except this time it's sadness and not his anger. So this is sort of where you can see him trying to get better. He's still talking about the first girl, but he's realizing they're really not the same people as they were a year ago when they were first together. But he misses their old times, so that's why he doesn't understand, why he says that he doesn't understand this, which is another reference to his album name, the question mark. He doesn't understand like what's going on, why are they changing. He doesn't want to come to terms that they're really not meant for each other if they're changing that much. He's like, the way I feel, I can't stand it. You're changing, I can't stand it. My heart can't take this damage. He's saying, girl, you're making it hard for me. I don't understand this. You're changing. He's just saying how now, after a long time has gone from them breaking up, he's saying that, oh, she's changed. He doesn't like the change because he still is in love with her. And he just wants to be back with her and how the way things were. Hope is where he's tired of the situation they're in, and he's saying how she's crying because she doesn't like it either. And this is partly where in the stage he doesn't care about any repercussions, and he just wants to do something to try to get to a better place. That's why he's hopeful maybe for the future, because he just wants to do whatever it takes. That's why he might start a riot. He's so tired. He just doesn't want to feel the same way that he's feeling right now. He doesn't like how she's crying every night. He has the fact that she's crying every night on his mind, and he doesn't like it, so he wants to try to change that, and he doesn't care what he might have to go through to change that. Another state in depression where it's like a sense of recklessness. Schizophrenia is one of my favorites. I like the aggressive songs. And that's why he's starting to lose control and is driving him mad. One side of him wants to let go. For example, he says, I'll loosen the other side plentifully until the end I'll fight. But then on the other hand, his conscience is going, don't give up, as in keep on fighting. So he's talking about the voices in his head and who's trying to drive him mad. I feel like when he says, I'll loosen the other side plentifully, is him referencing that he's going to loosen his sane side of himself. Because in the end, he'll fight. And since he's trying to loosen that side, that's when his conscience is coming back to him saying, don't give up, don't give up, keep fighting. Keep fighting, don't die. But for jumping back up for hope, his lyrics are feeling good, I'm feeling great, tired of the hate. That part is his high part in his peak. And that's why it digresses to schizophrenia. So far, I think he's had he's had 4 highs, and all the other ones are like lows almost. Because earlier in the song, it always comes back around, it doesn't go away, his sadness. And so this is why it's going up and down, up and down, up and down. This one low in the schizophrenia track is the one that actually gets him. Since he's starting to go crazy, and the pain from this girl has drove him wild, referencing where he says, make it all wild. His lyrics at the end of that song is his last push to stay alive. But in Before I Close My Eyes, it's literally a child's prayer, and that might just be his last words. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. To me, I see that as the before I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep means that while you're asleep, if you end up dying, that you hope that your soul will be saved to go to grant pardon to heaven. But then he says, I hope it's not too late for me. So he's saying that throughout his timeline that he hopes that he's still able to get into heaven, which is why this song is the very last song. It's just like a final goodbye as his last words. Like, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I think this means like to grant him pardon towards heaven. Just the whole album was about him being lost and going through highs and lows of a breakup, which finally, because of that breakup and the depressed state that he fell into, it finally got the best of him in the end. And that's basically my theory for this whole soundtrack, and why there's a question mark for the album name and cover, why there's so many different energies in the songs, why some of them are labeled this way, and the specific placement of the songs. All these songs tell a story in chronological order of his ways of dealing with this breakup from the Alone Part 3 track. Now, I may totally be wrong. These lyrics sort of go in with each other. They sort of sound like a story. And I encourage you to maybe listen to the album again and read the lyrics right next to it, and then take this theory and try to plug in while you're listening to the song. Maybe you'll see it the same way I do, or maybe you'll see it taken as a different point of view. Maybe those girls that I thought were different girls are actually the same girl. Stuff like that. So, I hope that you found this interesting, maybe entertaining. I did. So thanks for watching.
Spotlight, moonlight. Nigga, why you tripping? Get your mood right. Shorty look good in the moonlight. All these pussy niggas so bad, man. Spotlight, moonlight. Nigga, why you tripping? Get your mood right.